I might be mixed race, but I have the privilege of looking white and presenting white.
Hey guys, it's Kez from Crocs On. I'm here at a women's march in Dallas, downtown Dallas, so I'm going to go and ask some people what they think about what's going on.
Well, I decided to use a little bit of profanity because I think we're getting a little tired of women need to be nice and quiet all the time.
Mine says if I wanted the government in my uterus, I'd f*** a senator.
Oh my gosh. So what inspired that?
I don't think that the government should be able to tell us if we can or cannot have abortions if we wanted to.
Definitely Black Lives Matter, Black Indigenous Lives Matter, that and feminism, as you can tell.
I'm a little tired of the term feminist.
Okay.
I'm tired of being called a feminist or people asking me if I'm a feminist. I'm a humanist.
Right.
And I think you're either a humanist or you're a sexist. Period. End of story.
We want equal rights.
Yeah.
And we still don't have them totally.
Yeah.
And people that think we do, well, they need to learn. We don't.
I'm here for the Women's March. I think I'm in my mid-60s, and so I can remember what women's situation was like when I was growing up, which is, I can remember what it was like for my mother and how hard she struggled under inequality. And I feel like during the Trump administration, we're in danger of going all the way back to the 1950s.
I also just want to make sure girls and young people know they shouldn't be talked to like Trump talks to women. And we all know the things he said. I think you can see it on a video right now.
Yeah.
But, treat us with respect and don't talk down to us.
So I'm actually one of the hosts that helped organize the march. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's lovely to meet you.
Yes, hi. Just out here, letting people know like what they need to do, and we are marching people to the polls also.
After 4 years of Trump, what have you seen that he's done that has really affected women and hurt them, and like why it's like, okay, this year is the year he's out of here?
Just like for us, his whole stance on the LGBTQ community, just taking away trans rights, doesn't have any sort of healthcare plan or anything at all.
You have to just refresh me on the trans rights one. I didn't hear about that.
The trans rights that he was like trying to get rid of them, or got rid of, like where trans people aren't allowed to do certain things.
Oh, really? They can't? What certain types of things?
No, wait, I'm sorry.
The trans rights.
He's trying to overturn the protection that Obama put in place for trans people in the military and in the workforce, federal government.
Oh, really?
Your mama was a woman.
Yeah.
Try not to forget that and respect her.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because now we have the whole transgender movement and men can transition to be women. So your mama could be a man too these days.
Well, your mama later could be a man, just ask the Kardashian girls.
Yes. We're following behind the march. There's about 10 people marching. So there's a solid turnout. Are you happy with the turnout? I know it's COVID. I know there's probably a lot of people who are afraid to come out. But are you happy with how it all went?
Yeah, if one person showed up, it would have been worth it.
That's such a good attitude to have. I actually don't know why we're marching. Why do you think men don't want women to be equal to them?
Because women do so much for them.
Right.
If they're equal, if they're considered equal and not subservient, men's lives will change. They'll have to take more responsibility for their own actions.
And Trump is nominated Amy Barrett. Do you think that she's a good replacement for RBG, or are you concerned about that?
No, we're incredibly concerned about her.
She just wants to take everything that Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent her entire career fighting for women, equality, women's rights, reproductive, voting, all that. She's just wanting to disband it, and I feel like we're going to end up in an episode of The Handmaid's Tales for the next 4 years or whatever.
Do you think she's going to be good? Are you concerned about her?
I think they used her as to say we're putting a woman on the court, but they have obviously found somebody who is a puppet, and just because you're fighting for a little bit longer of a leash doesn't mean you're not a dog on the leash.
Basically, they take women back to the 1950s, 1940s, where women aren't allowed to do anything. And you basically are forced to have sex with this dude to reproduce and repopulate America. And
Wait.
yeah.
So Amy Comey Barrett is going to force women to have sex with men to repopulate America?
Well, okay, that's what The Handmaid's Tale is about.
Yeah.
But her religious group that she was a part of is based off of the Gilead in The Handmaid's Tale.
She was a handmaid.
And we're talking about Amy?
Amy.
Was a handmaid?
In a Catholic, I won't say cult,
Okay.
because maybe it's not a cult.
You
It's a Catholic organization in which, they are dedicated to the men as the head and the women as the handmaids. They refer to them as handmaids.
What I'm more upset about is that she's using the shoulders of other women to get where she is, to then close those doors for other women. And I can't handle somebody who is going to walk through doors that have been opened by so many generations to then close them for others.
The Supreme Court right now, we're replacing a woman that was breaking down barriers for women's rights, and we're replacing her with someone that essentially was in like a cult.
Hey, this is really kind of odd and spooky.
She was part of like essentially a handmaiden thing where, she's beholden to men, and this is who we're replacing, someone that was standing up for women's rights.
I'm definitely concerned with just her stance on women. I think she doesn't represent anything that women believe in. Everything that Ruth Bader Ginsburg fought for, she is gonna basically tear that down.
He could have easily picked anybody else.
Was there someone else that you had in mind that you thought this person would have been really good?
I mean, not necessarily, there's a bunch of others that could have worked out just fine.
Hello, sir. What do you think about this election cycle?
I'm in a car park. Look, this is the car park I'm in. This is where the protest, the march brought us to. And this is where I've brought you to the end of my video. Sorry, it was pretty much the most underwhelming event in the history of all events, but, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Haven't made a video in forever. There, have this sad video. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you subscribe for perhaps future episodes. And if you made it this far to the very end, and good for you. Okay, peace out.
Lysistrata, the Greek playwright, had it right, because the men were waging war and they were making all kinds of BS and all this kind of stuff, and so the women just cut them off sexually.
Really?
In the Greek play, yeah.
That is so funny.
And said no more until you cut out this nonsense.
Did it work?
No, not really.